The world is really on a cusp of a clean energy revolution. Global energy systems are changing dramatically. We see renewables falling significantly in cost, deployed to a greater extent than before. We see a high uptake of electrification of energy systems, and we see with digital innovation that energy systems are becoming much more integrated than in the past. That is significant change.
Normally, the discussion has been about a trade-off between economic growth and sustainability. And our experience from that journey is that there is no trade-off anymore. Because of the development you have in renewables, in energy efficiency, in technology, I think sustainable growth will have to be built on a sustainable energy system.
We see a lot of changing global dynamics amongst countries. We see energy demand growth growing very significantly in emerging economies and developed countries, not least in Asia, but also in other growth regions of the world. We see power capacity additions to a completely new extent. So China will be adding a US-sized power systems towards 2040. India will be adding a power system the size of the European Union until 2040.
And as the world of energy changes, these new realities on the ground need to be reflected in the 21st century international clean energy regime. And so, CIM exists as a global forum to promote policies and share best practices to accelerate the global transition to clean energy. The Ministerial comprises 24 participating CIM countries as well as the European Commission representing the European Union. Together, we account for about 75% of global greenhouse gas emissions and 90% of global clean energy investments, thus making this a unique forum to fast-track global clean energy transition.
The CEM is a unique construct which combines annual ministerial meetings with year-round technical work, and so it brings real impact on the ground. It also demonstrates the power of partnerships. The energy landscape we know is evolving and getting globally integrated at an extremely fast pace, so it becomes very important for energy decision makers to work together in order to share their experiences around global best practices and state-of-the-art. And I think CEM provides a unique platform for them to do so.
It is also important to us that the impact goes beyond the ministerial meeting. We need to create sustainable solutions and approaches which can be adopted globally for decades to come.
To host the Clean Energy Ministerial together with our Nordic neighbors and the European Commission is not only an honor, we love it, because I think it's an opportunity for us to show that it is possible to live a very, very good life, very free life, but doing it in a way that does not harm the environment. The Swedish experience is that you have to target all of the system, and by doing it, you not only create a more sustainable development, you also create an economic activity that brings new jobs, green jobs, and also economic growth.
Det er ikke nogen tilfældighed, at CEM-ministermødet i år bliver afholdt i fællesskab af de nordiske lande og EU efter sidste års succes i Kina. Og i de nordiske lande og i Europa har vi lang erfaring med at arbejde sammen for at udvikle fælles løsninger, der kan skubbe omstillingen mod ren energi fremad. Det er erfaringer, vi glæder os til at dele med resten af verden. Med CEM har vi mulighed for at lede og deltage i arbejdsspor, som flugter med vores prioriteter. Derfor er jeg meget glad for, at Danmark igennem CEM kan lære og blive inspireret af resten af verden.
清洁能源部长级合作机制是国际上推动清洁能源转型、助力应对气候变化的主要政府间机制。
Two campaigns that are currently receiving a lot of focus in the ministerial are the Advanced Power Plant Flexibility Campaign and the Super Efficient Deployment Initiative. Now, both of these are led by developing countries, the Flexibility Program by China and the SEED Initiative by India.
China 是清洁能源部长级合作机制创始成员之一。2017年6月，在北京举办了第8届清洁能源部长级会议。发展中大国和主要发达国家共同行动，对全球清洁能源转型意义重大。中国是全球最大的能源消费国和能源生产国，也是最大的清洁能源投资国。
可再生能源正在为世界提供日益增多的清洁电力。然而， 传统的电力系统还不能完全适应风电和光伏的大规模接入带来的波动性和不确定性。日益增多的风电、光伏等可再生能源的接入，给电力系统运行也带来了巨大的挑战。当然，这也是一个世界和全球共同面临的问题。我们相信，中国在开发利用风电、光伏等可再生能源的积极探索和实践，可以为世界提供有益的参考和借鉴。特别是中国燃煤电厂比重比较大，提高燃煤发电厂的灵活性就显得尤为的重要。为了提升发电厂的灵活性，不但需要通过研究和试验突破常规的运行方式，
Og når man ser på de forskellige metoder til at øge fleksibiliteten, bedre transmissionskapacitet mellem lande eller regioner, lagring af energi, digitalisering og fleksibel forbrug osv., er fleksibilitet af kraftværket det absolut mest omkostningseffektive. Jeg er stolt af, at Danmark sammen med Kina og Tyskland har ledt arbejde med at dele viden og erfaringer om, hvordan man omkostningseffektivt kan gøre kraftværker mere fleksible.
The uptake of technology, thanks to the CEM, can be swift, and so can policy adjustments. We could take an example of Europe, which is looking at Mexico's experience in the electricity auctions. India has been rolling out their energy efficiency programs, and this is an area of particular interest for us in Europe. CEM's strength certainly lies in how diverse the platform is. It goes beyond bilateral partnerships. Countries such as China, India, and Mexico have been increasingly leading work in the CEM, and while drawing inspiration from the more mature economies, they chart their own course.
Worldwide, electricity consumption is expected to grow 60% by 2030. This is driven in part by the increasing use of equipment, appliances, lighting and other devices. However, the associated growth in energy demand poses a challenge for the governments trying to satisfy existing demand while continuing to address air pollution and combat global climate change. The Super Efficient Equipment and Appliances Deployment Initiative, or SEAD, is a flagship initiative of the Clean Energy Ministerial in terms of its impact to promote the manufacture, the purchase, and the use of more energy efficient products. They do this by supporting the design and the implementation of energy efficiency policies and programs for common appliances, equipment, lighting, and other electronic devices. Now, India has been committed to the goals of the Clean Energy Ministerial right since the inception of the Ministerial. Now, whether it is developing our own energy efficiency standards overseen by the BEE, I think we were the first country in the world to develop through CEM the standards for the LEDs. Then we worked on the large-scale deployment of LEDs through the Ujala program of Energy Efficiency Services Limited, which has become a globally recognized company today. So we remain absolutely committed to helping a transition towards a clean energy ecosystem?
We started off this national LED program about 4 years ago, where we started giving out LED bulbs to consumers on a model which we call the pay-as-you-save model. Each LED was costing about $5, and we said you pay us from whatever you save. So they were saving about 15 cents every month, and they were paying us about 10 cents every month. We started small by distributing about 600,000 bulbs in a state called Pondicherry. Because it has incentives for everyone. The incentive for the consumer is that they don't have to pay anything upfront. The distribution company liked it because they were able to manage demand without investing anything. The state governments liked it because it was part of their whole policy towards energy efficiency and reducing carbon emissions. And therefore the adoption became very, very quick. So from 600,000, we immediately got a 6 million order. That 6 million order went up to about 20 million order. And the prices from $5 today have crashed down to 60 cents. India now caters to 12% of global demand for LEDs. If you have a 100-watt incandescent bulb, which consumes 100 watt of power, you can replace it by a 9 watt of LED bulb. So there's 91% savings of energy while delivering the same output.
We are absolutely excited, delighted actually, to be co-leading the SEED initiative. And in coordination with other countries are trying to bring the discussion of energy efficiency to the center stage. You know, India's own energy efficiency standard setting has been recognized globally, and we have had various countries reaching out to us to know more about how we set these standards for LEDs, how did we set up the Ujala program, which led to the large-scale deployment of LEDs.
India is a very concrete example of using the Clean Energy Ministerial to their benefit. And I think other countries, when they look at this deployment program, they see the volume and the pace as world-leading. And that's why so many countries are interested in learning from India.
The European Union has set itself a 20% energy savings target by 2020. In 2016, we proposed an update to the Energy Efficiency Directive, including a new 30% energy efficiency target for 2030. The work of the CEM in that space, coordinated by us along with India, is therefore extremely important in order for us to reach our goals. In the case of the CEM, best practices changes and lesson sharing is a two-way street.
Responsibility and leadership of SEM initiatives and campaigns are becoming more evenly distributed across the SEM membership, which is a great thing. This is a huge opportunity for countries like India to demonstrate leadership in priority areas such as energy efficiency. I think the shared global leadership is also an opportunity to involve a more diverse range of actors for both enhanced impact and funding. A range of players can be involved in the SEM initiatives, from the private sector, technical partners and think tanks at the national and local levels, international organizations, and philanthropic foundations.
We have been worked closely with the private sector to prepare the Clean Energy Ministerial in the Nordic countries. And I think it's important because our experience nationally is that you get the best result when you work together.
When I visit China and India and Mexico and Brazil, I see truly pioneering efforts in those countries. Sometimes they are well ahead of the rest of the pack. So sometimes they learn from others in the Clean Energy Ministerial, but very often they also have lessons which are of high interest to other countries.
There is no similar or competing mechanism to the CIM. This is an important platform for us and other members to accelerate the clean energy transition.
SEM has enormous potential. Its flexibility, wide membership, and shared leadership are unmatched by other platforms that are available today. It is also able to reflect the changing energy landscape, both in terms of emerging issues such as integration and digitalization, as well as regions where high growth in energy demand is going to happen. I believe that SEM should build on its unique strengths, especially its ability to connect at the political and technical levels to go even further.
This is a very special time for the CEM, which is entering a new phase of international collaboration. Global political leadership in advancing clean energy is increasingly shared.
The Clean Energy Ministerial is a results and impacts forum. And it gets those results by leveraging ministerial direction and drive with year-round technical work, targeting world best practice policy, regulation, and clean energy uptake.